taught by those who loved him and those who hated them.
الآن محبة الله الآب ونعمة الابن الوحيد ربنا وإلهنا ومخلصنا يسوع المسيح شركة وموهبة وعطية الروح القدس تكون مع جميعكم. امضوا بسلام وسلام الله يكون مع جميعكم.
In the early 21st century, ISIS began a reign of terror in attempts to cleanse North Africa of Christians. One of their favorite prey? Egyptian Coptic Christians. In December 2014, ISIS captured 7 Coptic Egyptians as they were making their way home to Egypt. A week later, ISIS raided the housing complex where the Egyptians had been staying. Capturing 13 more Coptic Christians. In all, 20 Coptic Egyptians were gathered together in an underground prison. There was some confusion regarding Matthew from Ghana. He had been captured in a separate raid, and when ISIS tried to let him go, he insisted he was the same as the Egyptians. Their God with his God. With Matthew, the group became 21. For the first few weeks, the 21 were treated well and were given clean food and water. ISIS tried to reason with the Christians. Some of the men were offered money to deny their faith. But it was of no use. The men wouldn't be moved. Thus the journey of torture began. The Christians were taken to the beach and forced to throw heavy bags of wood sand. And when a man fell, he was beaten.
يدفنك وسينتهي كل هذا. ما فائدة كل هذه المعاناة؟
يسوع قال سنكون يوم خطير من الجميع من أجل اسمي، ولكن الذي يصبر إلى النهاية فهذا يخلص.
لن يأتي أحد ليخلصك أيها النصراني.
The ground was continually doused with water, so the man couldn't see. The more they were tortured, the more their faith seemed to grow. One night, the man prayed in one voice, Kyrie eleison, Lord have mercy, Lord have mercy, over and over. Then suddenly the ground began to shake like an earthquake, and Isis became afraid. The Christians were forced to wear orange jumpsuits as ISIS filmed them walking along the beach. At times, ISIS saw strange figures walking among the Christians. Some of these figures held swords, others were black, and still others were riding horses. At times the color of the sky seemed to change as the men were walking along the beach. All of these things brought terror to the hearts of the Islamic State soldiers. They were anxious to kill the Christians before those with the Christians killed them. ISIS filmed the Christians 3 different times. The third time the men were brought to the beach was the last. The men walked looking toward the sky and didn't say a word except their prayers to God.
The strong and mighty, and may blessings and peace be upon the one sent by the sword as a mercy to all the worlds and people. Recently, you've seen us on the hills of Asham and on that explain, chopping out the heads that have been carrying the Constitution for a long time, filled with spite against Islamic Muslims. And today, we're on the south of Rome, on the land of Islam, Libya, Syria.
ISIS slaughtered the men one by one, hoping that some would deny their faith. None did, and they all died with the name of Jesus on their lips. On February 15, 2015, ISIS published a 5-minute video showing the beheading of the Christians. The act was condemned by Muslims and Christians